This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. Every week at this time, we're talking about worthwhile, great things going on in the community. Katie Huckle is back after her week off. I had the pleasure of interviewing the cast and the co-director of Legally Blonde last week, and I do have to give that show a plug because there are two performances left at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. today. And this is a good time before we jump into our OASIS Family Resource Center conversation to talk to somebody who went to the show on opening night on Thursday. Carla Filkins and Melissa Kuhns are with us to talk about OASIS Family Resource Center. But Carla, let's talk about the kids and about the show and why people should go at 2 or 7 today.
Well, I wouldn't want to miss it if I were them.
Wow.
You know, when we went to the show, there is so much amazing talent on that stage.
Awesome.
And, you know, I earlier was sharing with Rich when we used to do high school musicals. If you had like one young man with a good, strong voice, you were happy.
Yeah.
And the depth that is on that stage, those kids are having so much fun together, and they're so talented. And I have to give a plug to Footlighters because I think that their children's programming that they're doing now is really starting to show, not just in the Footlighters productions, but in the schools themselves. And you know, kids who have never been involved in the performing arts before are getting involved, and it was just a joy to see.
Wow, everybody, get your tickets.
And I will tell you, it's really important for those kids who don't know how to throw a ball.
That's right.
Or run really fast.
Right.
That's a place for them, right?
It is. It is.
And you know, I go back to the great Mike Filkins, and his years building an incredible band. And when you talk to those students, they'll tell you, I had a place. I belonged. It was the highlight of my high school career.
Yes. And, you know, when you were 15, 16, or 17 years old and you're looking to find the place that you fit in.
Right.
And to finally find that place.
Right.
You can't get enough of it.
So important.
Right.
It's so important for their psyches.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is.
And, you know, as I watched that performance, I was just checking out all the kids that were in it. And it's really just a mashup of, you know, there's athletes there. There's dancers from the Landing Dance Academy. I see their faces out and about in so many different venues, but they've come together and put together this really wonderful performance. And their wit, their timing is spot on. And there is a lot of belly laughing by the audience because it is so good.
Incredible.
All right, so go see Legally Blonde.
High praise from the mayor.
There is a 2 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show today before they wrap it up, and I know there's so much rehearsal time that goes into it, and then 4 shows and you're done.
Yeah, and then you have postpartum. I can tell you that as an actress, you really have postpartum because you miss your people.
Yes.
They become like your family.
We were just talking about that before we went on the air. What a great experience it is as far as camaraderie for the kids. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And future shaping.
Yeah.
Also, this builds self-confidence. This builds skill sets that these kids will need in their interviews, college, all those things. So thank you to our directors. Thank you to the Footlighters and to the community members that have invested in our kids. Speaking of kids, OASIS Family Resource Center is a nonprofit near and dear to our hearts. And I got a phone call a couple months ago, and I was A, alarmed because she's a close friend, and then B, I was relieved. So OASIS lost its executive director. Lots of things going on in that family. And so she needed to resign. And Carla was not on the board, but her husband was. And so Mike and Carla are fixers. They're solvers. They make things happen. And so the phone call to me was, I've decided to step in as executive director in the interim for OASIS. And I'm like, what? You know, what you need is more to do, Carla.
Sure,
I mean,
put more on your
plate. Are you kidding me? You know, and she goes, why are you hesitating? I said, I think it's a great idea. I mean, this is the woman that ran the supply chain for Munson. She knows what she's doing, doesn't have a background in domestic violence per se. But she's an administrator and highly educated. And she came in, the goal that she achieved, not just helping out the agency in terms of staffing, but there was a financial crisis. and Carla fixed it with a team of people. And hats off to you, boss.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Takes a village.
Oh, she's so humble. Can you tell us a little bit? First, we want to talk about the event. We have fun things to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about it.
It's tonight, right?
It is. It is.
Man.
After a few months of planning, and I'm gonna let my partner here, Melissa, really talk about the event. She is a board member for OASIS now, and one of the things that we've been working on since I've been there is really strengthening the talents that we have on our board, and so that's really exciting. And one of the things that Melissa brings to our board is her fundraising, her media, she's just amazing at it. So that's the gift that she brings to OASIS. And so she didn't let us down at all when we started planning this adult prom that's coming up this evening.
We want to hear about it, Melissa. Tell us what's on deck. Tell us, how people are going to dress, what time, what's going to be served, what people can expect.
Well, first, let me give a shout out to Sarah Meek, who is the headliner of our team. She has been amazing and really kept us organized and moving forward. The event starts at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And people can wear their glitz, their glamour, everything that they ever wanted to have at their prom that either they did and want to do again or never had the chance to or didn't want to when they were 17.
Right.
So we will have everything from ball gowns to slinkies to, there's no limit. You go tacky taffeta if you want to have a great time. Fulfill your wildest dream as far as dress goes. Everybody's welcome. We're going to have some snacks, some heavy hors d'oeuvres. We'll have a full bar. Yeah. Bring cash if you'd like to keep that line moving. But we will have Square and the ability to pay with cards. Yep. We will be nominating and electing the prom king and queen.
Whoa.
How does that happen? Because that's a different thing than in high school. So this happens because we are raising funds for the OASIS Family Resource Center. Sure.
Every dollar is going to our community.
So you can vote and
you can pay to vote.
Vote with your money.
Vote
Talk
with
about
your
buying
money.
The prom queen.
Okay. Yes.
And buying the prom king.
Absolutely. This is the one time where it's legal and encouraged.
We have crowns, we have thrones, we have,
my.
We are ready for them.
I want to know what the goal is. If the world's a perfect place, how much money are you going to raise?
That is an interesting question.
More than we did last year.
More than we did last year.
Okay, which
last year was really a good success for this.
Okay.
But
was last year the first one, Carla, or was it the previous year?
I think it was the previous
year.
Last year was the first year that I attended because Mike was on the board.
Okay.
And my understanding through Sarah Meek, who is also a board member, is that each year that they've held the event, it gets bigger and bigger. Sure. And so the event is being held at the venue, at the truck stop, and they have been amazing to work with. Sure. And so this year they have provided us the facility and they've just been really supportive. But because it's at the venue, we still have room to grow. Sure. So we are the community's just coming up with a lot of really great ideas, even starting to talk about next year already, to see how this goes. This year we are going to have a live band, we're going to have live music, and we're also going to have a DJ. So it's going to be a combination throughout the night of live music and then DJ. So there will be lots of dancing.
Did you go to prom, Rich?
How many proms did you? I'm going to wait on the answer to that question. How many proms did you go to, Carla?
I went to 3 of them.
How about you, Melissa?
I went to 2.
Katie?
I went to 9.
Okay, so 3 plus
Katie
2
wins.
3 plus 2 plus 9 is 14 plus 0 is 14.
Are you kidding
Never
me?
went.
Well,
you need to take your sweetheart to the prom.
I never did. my mother, by the time I was a senior in high school, thought I was going to be a loner forever. Because
She's an only child.
I'm an only child. I didn't have a lot of room in my life for a girlfriend. And so I never had a squeeze or anything like that through high school. So I never went to dances.
I'm going to reach out to Julie, and we're going to get her a dress, and you're going to need to buy a corsage and all the things.
She's a homebody. Good luck with that.
Okay. I will tell you that we're the same, Rich and I are the same age. And we're from an era where the girls wore hoop skirts.
Yes.
And do you remember this?
I had a 5-bone hoop.
5-bone hoop. So what that is there's a bone to hold the dress out, and you could literally tip over, you know.
Interesting.
And I recently looked at some pictures, and I thought, the dress looks like curtains.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
All I remember is designer jeans and Barracuda jackets. That's all I remember.
But yeah, so it was this great big affair, and these poor guys would have to save up all this money because, of course, you had to have a limousine and you had to go out for dinner. And then there was the ask. You know, there had to be this big fancy ask with balloons and flowers and all the things.
Yeah.
Although at our house,
a big handwritten sign.
Yeah.
Will you go to HOCO with me?
All
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and Grandma Susie had a rule, and let me tell you what it was with all of her daughters, my sisters and me. Whoever asked you first, that's it. That's it.
Really?
You say yes, and then you get a better offer. Yes, one and done. And so I can remember.
Well, you can break a heart doing that.
Yeah, well, and it's rude, you know.
Yeah.
But I can remember trying to plead my case that, you know, Jeremy was really friend material and this. And she said, you said yes. I'm done talking about it. And I think that's a good rule.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to break hearts.
No. So, you know, we're food people. We're foodies. So let's talk about the hors d'oeuvres. What are we serving? Let me guess. Chicken wings.
If we only had a webcam here
We
right
have
now.
some
because...
Annie's baked goods. I do know about
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
And
Okay.
cupcakes from Cupcake Mafia.
Yeah.
We are having some fried green beans.
Oh, yum.
And some other fried snacks from the truck stop. Again, thank you.
It is excellent.
Oh, it's going to be great. So, yeah, we've got a lot of snacks.
You know, we probably need to stop here and thank the truck stop for this because they are so busy with concerts.
Yes.
They could have had a concert on a Saturday night and made a lot more money, but
Absolutely.
they did this for you guys.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
You know, he's become this incredible community partner.
Yes.
And doesn't ask for a lot of recognition in return.
Well, we're giving it to them.
Absolutely we are, yeah.
The venue and the truck stop, they've just been wonderful.
Good.
Amazing supporters.
Jeremy Rose,
Thank you,
we're talking to
Jeremy.
you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I want to talk about the dresses. I mean, are we going to see like pageant gowns? Or are we going to see, like you said, tacky tack? I mean, do people take this seriously, or how does this?
You're gonna see something of everything.
Really?
Right? Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, people will come. This is what I observed last year. People came in prom dresses. People came in just really nice, like mother of the bride dresses. You know, it's whatever anybody's comfortable with. There's
Sure.
no rules.
Oh, we
right.
love
And
that.
so if people just want to come in blue jeans and have a great time, then that's what we want them to do.
Well, and when you said you had a live band and a DJ, and I'm talking to a DJ, what's great about that is, let's say you had that prom song. Let's say you had that Footloose song that everybody got out on the dance floor. You're going to be able to accommodate all of those requests
Yes.
because, you know, music's nostalgia.
Absolutely. And for the low cost of $5, you too can request the song that your heart desires.
This lady's in it to make some money.
Absolutely. We've got families to support. We've got people to help, and every dollar matters.
Well,
You know-
and in this situation, it's a little bit different because you're going to have people of every age there.
Yes.
So you may have somebody from the class of 75.
Right.
You may have someone from the class of 2015, right?
You are right.
So
Good.
you're going to have all
You're
kinds
right.
of different requests.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people who didn't have a fun prom night, you can do a redo.
Yes.
That's why they call it second chance, right?
Second chance prom.
Okay.
Yes.
So, in Carla, can we talk for a minute about the health of the agency?
Absolutely.
You have climbed Mount Everest with this. When she called me, I've done a lot of fundraising in our town, and this town steps up every time. But this was a lofty goal, and I was very concerned. Can you tell us how you got there and what the number was, if that's okay?
Sure. Well, the last time that I was here and we talked about OASIS, I was very transparent about the fact that, in my first month there, I was kind of peeling back the onion and trying to understand the current situation, current status of the organization. And trust me, the work and the grant dollars that support the work that we do are strong. Are strong. But there's certain things about our agencies that are not covered by grant dollars. And so we as an organization, as a strong board and an agency, we need to have fundraisers like the prom to generate a general operating fund. And every year around September, October, our granting organizations, federal and state, they don't send the dollars out, right? Normally when we incur costs, we bill the grants and the funds come in within a month. But for that period of time in the fall, we can go 45 days without grant dollars coming in. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is we have to have a general operating fund or budget that has enough money in it to cover payroll and to cover the needs of our clients and to cover our utilities, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the bills don't go on delay for 45 days.
They do not. They do not. And so that's the situation we found ourselves in, again, last fall, but that's not the first time it's happened. So, right. And I knew that. So that was really my goal coming in. And I really set a goal for, I remember you looked at me and you're like, really? When I said $100,000. We have to get $100,000 back in the general budget, general fund, so that we can earmark that and we leave that in the coffers and that we always know we have that buffer. Should something happen like last week when President Trump said, okay, we're gonna stop all federal payouts, which included our organization. So right away last week.
You were scrambling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, thankfully, because of my annual appeal letter that went out in October, my goal was $100,000. And we actually, through that appeal letter, brought in $117,000.
Incredible.
Yes. So the community is there. The community is supportive, and we just needed to tell our story. We need to be transparent about the work that we do. We need to help people realize with our transitional housing, our shelter, our permanent housing, no other agency does that for domestic violence victims or sexual assault victims. And I can tell you right now that our shelter is full to the gills. And so, we're having to make arrangements to get people on a bus and get them to family in another state because we don't have a place. So part of our work now is being able to pay for those bus tickets and get them to a safe place. So there's just a lot of cogs moving, but that general fund is so important to our organization. And so we're watching that very carefully. We own the shelter house, which can hold up to 20 people, moms and kiddos. We own our building downtown. We have made the decision, the board has made the decision to sell that asset. Because while it's a beautiful asset and we love being there, it's kind of like for an organization that completely depends on donors and fundraisers for our general operating fund, we really felt like we shouldn't own the building.
Sure.
So if we don't own the building, then the buyers are going to allow us to lease our space from them and stay where we are. We'll just be down on the lower level. But then we can use grant dollars to pay that lease payment. Where when we own the building, we have to make those payments out of our general fund for utilities and insurance, et cetera, taxes, right?
Repairs.
Yeah, so I think that was a really wise decision by the board. So I bring that up just because I want people who are listening to this story to understand that we are transparent. I'd love to talk to them about our organization, and we are making all the right decisions right now.
Incredible. I mean, what a victory. And, when you talk about the work, I get choked up about this, but when you talk about the work of the agency, that's what told the story. So you put a reputable leader behind an incredible agency that is a mission critical to our community. Cadillac would not be the community it is without OASIS. Okay. And so when you pair that strong leadership with a strong nonprofit that has a reputation for helping and healing, unstoppable. And that's what happened. Yep. Incredible momentum there.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Let's talk about your events that you do throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So this particular one that's happening tonight, what's the percentage of your general fund that you're hoping to generate from this? Is this the big event of the year, or are there others?
It's one of them.
It's one of them.
It's one of them.
Okay.
Yes. Over the years, there's been some, like a polar dip. I mean, and that surprisingly actually would bring in really a nice amount of money into our general fund. Depending on who you get to jump, right? They have to raise the money because they want to raise the most money, and it's just something fun to do. But the prom has grown into something really wonderful for our organization. Last fall, they started a new event, Rocking for OASIS, and that event will be back again this year, where we have bands and people can come out and listen to the music and have a good time. The other event that we have is in June, and it's Celebrate Women, and that event. And Katie, help me. How many years
This will be 28.
Yes, Katie is one of the MCs for the event.
You were only 4 years old when this started?
So I founded this fundraiser. It'll be 28 years. It'll be our 28th year.
You brought that, but
I did.
Did you bring this with you from another state?
I did.
Okay.
I brought it just south of Minneapolis. I was living in a community called Owatonna, Minnesota. And there was a woman there running a mall, and she was a firecracker. And she threw a ladies' luncheon at the local country club. And I saw how much the ladies love to sit around in their cute outfits and eat a fancy lunch and talk about things that were going on in the community. And so what we did is we took that, we introduced it in Cadillac, but then we added a recognition for women component with 3 honorees. Our very first honoree, and this is in the beginning when we didn't have 3 honorees, was Grace McKellop. Grace McKellop is the first female president of the Chamber of Commerce and the founder of the Sweet Shop. So Grace McKellop, we introduced her. It was Corey Lindell and I. We introduced Grace. And Grace was formidable, if you knew her. You didn't tangle with Grace, a strong businesswoman, just strong in general. And she gets up to the mic, and we're thinking, I'm standing in the wings with my mic, getting ready to, after she says her remarks and accepts her award and such and so, I'm getting ready to take over back to emceeing. And she gets on the mic and talks about being abused as a child, which no one knew.
Oh, my goodness.
And you could have heard a pin drop, chills, tears. There wasn't a dry eye in the room, and she shared her story. And then Corey and I had to take over the luncheon, and I looked at Corey, and she's like, good luck. I mean, to pull it back together. Show must go on, And afterwards, I said to her, what a great inaugural, kickoff for this. Because I said, we're going to be doing this a long time. And I said, you set the tone, Grace. Thank you so much for your testimony.
And at the time, you had no idea that she needed the kind of services that OASIS provides.
That's right.
Yeah.
And not long ago, we were having dinner with friends, and this guy is so fun, and he's very good at his job, and he just looks like he's just, life has been easy for him. And so I was talking about OASIS as my passion and Carla's leadership and all these things. He said, I lived there as a child. Again, what? People don't talk about these things because they're painful, but the stories need to be told so that other folks will come forward.
Katie, that's exactly it. The stigma that goes along with domestic violence and people who experience that and sexual assault. If we don't talk about it, it gets hidden. It remains a shameful secret. Yeah. When we bring it out into the light and we share our own stories, that is where the healing can absolutely occur, and where individuals start healing and a community starts healing. And the more that we share those individual stories, and we're brave about that, the more hope there is, and the more it can inspire another person to say, I don't have to live this way.
Right. And there's
And break the cycle.
And break that
Yes,
cycle.
break that
Absolutely.
cycle. And break the stigma too. You know, I remember having Sarah in here, and I said, if someone's in a situation right now, what would you tell them? You know, because she's so clinical. She's got all that education, our former director, Sarah Shields. And she said, you might not be ready today, but call us and we'll come up with a plan. We're listening. We're here. And that also gave me the chills. Just knowing that team of people, that OASIS staff is so skilled. And so you think you're going to throw a curveball at them, and they're like, oh, we've heard this story before. Right. And we know how to respond, and we know how to get you help. And, you know, Carla, you talk about transitional housing and the shelter being at capacity. There are also homes where women who have now found jobs and who are now learning how to budget money and are sort of re-entering society, they get to live there for a minute as they figure out their lives. Another important component to what you folks do.
Yes.
Go ahead.
How's your staffing level? Are you in the position where you need people at this point?
We
Counselors,
are actually.
the people like that?
Yeah, we have two regular counselors, but I am putting out feelers because I think that, you know, the counselors that we have are contracted employees. You know, we don't have it in-house. But, you know, I see a need for more.
Right.
For more counseling. And so we're looking for counseling. We are looking for new advocates. I'm really working, one of my goals is to strengthen our advocacy in the community. And so to me, it takes a really special person to fill that role. And we had some interviews this week, and we were blessed to have the people walk in the room and talk to them that we had this week. And I'm really encouraged by that. But the answer to your question is yes, we do.
So if there's someone who has the background that you're looking for that might be looking to make a change,
right,
to something where they are part of something that's bigger than themselves,
yes,
how do they get a hold of you?
They can contact me right at OASIS. Just call the hotline, and I'll be there. They can reach out on Facebook. You know, it's of course we're looking for an executive director right now. Mm-hmm. The longer I'm there, I've been there since the 1st of September. The longer I'm there, the more I care. So I don't know if I'll ever go away. But you know, and we're also looking, just to put the word out there, it'll be posted soon, but we're looking for a finance person.
Good
so that's one of the things. I'm kind of changing up the people that we have in the organization, and I believe that we need to bring that in-house. So that will be posted soon.
Okay.
Excellent.
Along with the new advocates.
I think your donors will be pleased to hear that too. You know, someone with a money background, someone with eyes on the money, so that you don't get caught in that cycle of, we're short. And it's nobody's fault that you're short. It's just the way grant funding goes.
That's correct.
You know?
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, if there are people out there listening today that have an idea for just a neat little fundraiser, even if it's a charcuterie and cocktail party at your home that you can invite friends to, that, you know, you can invite me, I'll come and I'll talk about our organization. Sure. There's creative ways to bring in funds for the organization. And so I would just say that I'm always open to do that, and we'll be very transparent about the organization.
Absolutely. You know, you said something that made me smile, and you said, I'm not going away. The more I'm there, the more I care. That goes for your board of directors and your staff too. Once you've been exposed to the work this agency does, you are a believer. It's like you're at the poker table and you go, I'm all in. And so when we put out the outreach letter, we brought in Amy Peltier, who's a medical writer, an incredible writer. And she helped us with some of the shaping of Carla's solicitation letter.
Kind of massage the words a little bit.
Yeah, yes. And really brought the right emotion into it. You know, this is a plea. This is an urgent plea. Yes. And again, we use mission critical, and it can't fail. And then having it, you know, authored and drafted and signed by Carla, brought in some big money. And when I go back to your board of directors, I know for a fact, because I saw some of those donations, that so many of the donors were board members. And it's that saying, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
And I think once you serve on that board, you're a, what do you call it, ad hoc board member forever.
Yes.
You never go away.
Yes.
There isn't one board member that you couldn't call Carla and say, I need you on this. You know, I think
You're right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
That's how I feel about our board. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Awesome. Major fundraiser tonight. Let's circle back to the details. The who, what,
Yes.
when, where, and why.
Yep.
All right. It's tonight. You can still get your tickets.
Prom
You can
night.
come to the door. If you buy two, you have a savings. So bring your girlfriend, bring your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Bring all your friends. Save the $5 by buying them in pairs.
Okay.
You can find that. All the information is on our Facebook event. And it's from 7 till 10 p.m. at the venue, at the truck stop. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone come out.
And it looks like we're going to have some snow, but we live in northern Michigan, so be brave. Come on out and join us.
I have one question. It's my favorite nonprofit question. If money were no object, what would you do with this agency?
I would put this agency, I would love to put this agency in one location
Okay.
so that we have more space for mom and kiddos when they need safe housing, so that we have our administration and our advocates on site with our survivors at all times. I would love to see the Second Chance store come back again because the community supports that, and we have so many generous donors in our community, and I'd love to get that back again. But I really envision a place that houses our whole operation, and having our agency being as collaborative as we can be with all of the other nonprofits that help these survivors in different ways than we do.
Right. Use collaboration,
Yes.
partnership.
Yes.
She's unstoppable, Rich.
And that support begins with you supporting the Second Chance Prom tonight. So, Melissa Kuhns and Carla Filkins, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.
Yes, thank you
It's
very
prom
much.
night.
And come on back in the days and weeks leading up to Celebrate Women, and we'll talk about that too.
Oh,
Okay.
that'll be exciting.
Right here on Cadillac Unscripted, sponsored by Independent Bank on 107.9 CDY.